जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय
राधे जय
राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की
जय।
रासेश्वरी राधा रानी की
जय
श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की
जय।
एकमेवाक्षरं यस्तु गुरुः शिष्यं प्रबोधयेत्। पृथिव्यां नास्ति तद्द्रव्यं यद्दत्त्वा चानृणो भवेत्। कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षःस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुः करे कङ्कणम् सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूड़ामणि नमः कमलना भाय नमः कमल मालिने नमः कमल पादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वं ह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Eternal seekers of knowledge, let's do Sankirtan for a few minutes, after which the Q&A session will begin. We'll need a volunteer to take the mic to those who have a question. Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe
राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे
श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे 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 राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे
राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
श्री राधे राधे राधे
श्री राधे राधे राधे
श्री राधे राधे राधे
श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे श्री राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe.
Radhe 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 Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe.
Radhe 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 Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe.
Radhe 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 Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe.
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 Radhe Radhe 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 Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe.
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 Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe.
बोलिए लाडली लाल की
जय।
जगत गुरु श्री कृपालु जी महाराज की
जय।
If you have a question, then please raise your hand and mic will be given to you.
Radhe.
Why did demons want to actually I forgot my question.
That's all right.
Radhe Radhe Didi ji. Question I had was throughout the day when we're not working, let's say, or if we're, even when we're working, if we have 30 minutes here, hour there, or when work is done and we're passing time, we may have an hour here in the evening. When we're not doing dedicated karm sannyas, and Maharaji talks about the goal, end state goal is to keep your mind in those 5 areas of God, names, forms, Dham, Leelas, or Sant, saint. Yes. Can you give some practical examples of how we can do that? Like when we're, or even if we're doing like seva where we're not using much of our mind, like vacuuming or even at home chores, how can we practically, doing what Maharaji is saying, rather than, going on the phone or turning the TV on, how can we get our mind engaged, like he's saying 24/7 when we find ourselves having a lot of idle time.
Yes. So we must train the mind to do Roop Dhyan while doing chores or doing work at the office or work at your place of employment, whatever that may be. So it's a matter of getting accustomed to doing Roop Dhyan. And that means bringing Radha Krishna into everything that we are doing. So, as you mentioned, I think you mentioned vacuuming the house, vacuuming the carpet. So, Radha and Krishna are there, or Shri Krishna is there, or Radha Rani is there, Shri Maharaji is there. And you are doing that work, you are performing that task for their pleasure. So, you visualize, let's say, Shri Krishna, and you are showing him, do you like the way I vacuum? Is this clean for you? Does this please you? So you're bringing him into everything that you're doing, no matter what it may be. That is the ideal. that is the training of the mind. So rather than, as you said, rather than the mind remaining idle, actually the mind doesn't remain idle, it will think of the world. It's always working. So rather than the mind thinking about the world, we just bring Radharani, Shyam Sundar, Gurudev into whatever we are doing. And there are other times when it's wonderful, it's very beneficial to read the books, the literature of Sri Maharajji, the literature of your Gurudev, to hum the songs, the bhajans and kirtans, listen to them. So just basically surrounding yourself with everything with everything concerning Radha and Krishna, and bringing Radha, Krishna and Gurudev into everything you're doing. Just bringing them in. Because devotion, the path of devotion doesn't subtract, it adds. It adds God and Guru to you, whatever you're doing in daily life. Yes, Radha.
Why did demons come to kill Krishna? But besides Krishna getting killed, why did the demons come?
Good question. These demons are actually very devoted. They love Bhagavan Shri Krishna, and he is doing what is called leelas. Do you know what a leela is? It's like when God comes down to earth, he puts on a play, and there are actors in that play, and some of the actors have the part of bad guys. Those are the demons. They love Shri Krishna, but they pretend to be, they're acting as if they are his enemies, and they try to kill him. But he always kills them, doesn't he? But after killing them, he's not mean to them. He knows that they're just putting on an act, so he sends them to his divine kingdom, to his divine abode. Do you know what that means? The kingdom of God, where Lord Krishna is in Golok, he sends them to Golok. Okay?
Radhe Radhe Didi Ji, I have two questions. Didi Ji, we sing Ram Raghav, we sing Trahimam, Pahimam, Rakshamam.
Meaning the same, really.
Oh, what does it mean though?
Oh, to protect me, Rakshamam, protect me, is really basically the same.
Oh.
Accept me, protect me. Yes.
Oh, okay. Then my second question, Didi Ji, is about Nishkam devotion or Nishkam Seva. So it is a difficult concept. Somehow selfless Seva, for me it's very difficult. It seems like I understand the theory of it, I understand what the benefit is. It just seems like, or devotion even, not even just Seva. But it seems that, it's like, even if I get that feeling of, even if I feel like, okay, I'm practicing Nishkam Seva, it seems like a very temporary, fleeting feeling. It's like a momentary. And then, I know you have to work on it, you have to understand it, you have to realize that, you have to try. What other tips can you have to understand and practice that more versus, kind of making it non-selfless? It's like a cone and I get on the top of the cone and slide right down immediately.
The key is to understand why we must be Nishkam. The key is to really understand why be selfless. Once the concept is understood that, oh, this is why I should be selfless. So it's all about understanding what selflessness is, what Nishkam Seva or Nishkam Prem, selfless service to God and Guru and selfless devotion, what that selflessness is and why should we be selfless. Then it's a matter of practice only. Because the mind has to be convinced. If it's not convinced, then it will not do it if it's not convinced. So why should I be selfless? Because I cannot really be a devotee as such I cannot be a genuine devotee unless I become selfless, unless I give up all my desires. And it's not that being desireless means I will not get any happiness. In fact, the greatest happiness is in being selfless. And this is what I am being taught by my guru, and this is the reason why I'm being taught to be selfless. And then it's a matter of practicing. There's nothing else really, nothing else. It's just a matter of practice. Just as we have become very selfish in devotion because of constant practice. In the same way, the opposite will also happen. We will get on the right track through practice. And it begins, however, with the mind understanding why. We don't do anything unless we understand the benefit of doing that. You take a little child, the child is taught, you must floss your teeth, but why? Why? And then it's explained to the child, oh, okay, this is why. All right, so I'll do it. Why should I drink more water? Why should I not eat a lot of junk food? Oh, I understand. My health, okay, right now I'm young enough and it doesn't seem to bother me, and yet when I reach a certain age, all the junk food is going to show up. Oh, now I understand, and so I will now cut out a lot of the junk food that I'm eating. It's a matter of understanding why I must be selfless. Once we are in a doubt, I don't think I should be selfless, it's not going to happen. But why I should be selfless, and then it's a matter of practicing it. That's all. Thank you. Welcome.
Radhe Radhe Didi ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Sometimes being a parent, well, I wouldn't say every time, but sometimes it's very difficult. You think you are on right path by teaching, children the way you should be loving God, the good deeds you should be doing, all that stuff that we, as a parent, we teach our children, right? But then there are times that I see it's conflicting, and I know it's temporary, but then it makes me feel like I didn't do a good job, because some things are not expected and children just do it out of whatever, because of puberty or whatever they're going through. But it makes me feel like, did I lack something as a parent? Should I have done more? It always comes to my mind.
Being a parent is, I think, the most difficult job in the world. And so you always wonder. I hear from a lot of parents, and parents always wonder, am I being a good enough parent? Where did I miss out? But you have to understand that children come with their own sanskars. First of all, no matter how much hard work you do with them, their sanskars will play a big part. Also, you have to understand their age. There's an age they go through changes and so on and so forth. And those, their reactions at this age will not always remain. What you're doing as a parent, as a mother, is that you're giving them a very strong foundation, a very strong spiritual foundation, devotional foundation. And there's no bigger favor that a parent can do for the child than to give the child that spiritual foundation. So if a parent is doing that, you as a parent, you're doing that, then it's wonderful that you're doing that. And yet there will be sanskars of the children that will come into play. And you have 3 children. And those 3 children may have 3 totally different sanskars, because where have they each come from? Where were they in their previous life? Even twins, where were they? And now they have come to you. So all you are expected to do is to give them a good spiritual foundation, and then after that you cannot do anything more. You're working hard with them. That does not mean that they will not make mistakes, that they will always go on the right course. They're not saints. And so you have to understand that. And also, you have to understand that you are not only a parent, you are more than a parent. You are a child of God also. So rather than think so much about children or your child or your children, you have to focus more on your own growth. Not more, but you have to focus on your own growth, because it's very easy to get very caught up in just children, my child, my children, and not focus on yourself, on your own spiritual growth. I just added that because I've seen that many times. The parents are so stuck on their children that they're not noticing that their own spirituality is lacking, their own devotion is lacking. And that is not, I'm not pointing out to you, that's in general. So, and then you have to be detached enough to say, this is a child of God. God has given me this child, these children, and I'm taking care of them, and I'm doing my best. And I pray to God that I do my best. But after that, I will, their sanskars will come in. So expect anything and everything, but do your best. That's the only thing you can control. That's all. And don't beat yourself up about anything like this. Many parents do. I think it comes with being a parent. Yes. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Didi. So, I'm trying to put my question in a simpler way, but please forgive me if it's complicated. So, as we discussed this afternoon, like when we take birth, along with us we bring prarabdha karma and sanchit karma, and due to which like some events are predestined. It could be bad or good events in our life are bound to happen.
Yes.
And also we have some free will to do good deeds or bad deeds. So with our good deeds, is it possible to change the predestined events or at least make them smaller? Or like with our good actions, can we make ourselves stronger to deal with those bad karma or bad events in our life?
That's exactly. First you said one thing, then you said something else. Mm-hmm. So yes, the answer is that whatever comes in your life, if it's the hardships, the challenges, you will be better equipped to handle them. You'll be stronger through not your virtuous actions, good actions, but devotional actions, through your devotion. So when you practice devotion, when you love God, as you try to love God, you'll become stronger. You'll become stronger so that you may accept whatever is happening in your life. Because what is in your destiny will remain. You cannot change that. The only thing is, the difference between someone who is handling it very intelligently and the one who's handling it foolishly is Jnani bhugate jnanate, murakha bhugate roye. The intelligent one, the one who has practiced devotion, is now able to laugh through the hardships, whereas someone who has not accumulated any devotion, who does not have that knowledge and that devotion, will cry all his life. So it's not a matter of of changing your destiny, but it's a matter of becoming stronger to accept your destiny.
Thank you, Dee.
Okay. We have a question over here in the front.
How did you become a Didi?
Well, Maharaji said, Sri Maharaji, Maharaji said, I want you to do the seva of preaching. And I accepted what Maharaji said. So Maharaji said, I want you to preach. I want you to be a Didi. So then I became a Didi. I started preaching because Maharaji told me. Do you know that I didn't think I could do this? Do you know that? I didn't think I could do this because I was very shy. Anybody shy over here? Can you raise your hand? Pramatha, are you shy? So I was really, so there are some shy people, and I was really, really shy. So how could I give lectures to people if I'm so shy? But you know what happens when your guru gives you something to do, then he gives you the ability. He makes you, he makes you able to, he enables you then to do that work. So he gives you a seva, then he makes you do that seva. He gives you the strength to do the seva, the knowledge to do the seva. And that's what Maharaji did. And you know what I had to do? I worked hard at what I had to do, and I also trusted Maharaji. I had faith in him. Did I have faith in him? Do I have faith in him? Yes. Just like you do. So I had lots of faith in him, and I thought, if Maharaji wants me to preach, to teach, and be a didi, like you said, then he'll give me the ability to do it. And that's what he did. Ask me if I love doing what I do. Can you ask me? Let's say you ask me, do I love do I love being a didi? Yes, I do. I love it. Because I meet people like you, kids like you, and people, nice people, and it's wonderful. So I love doing what I do. Good question. You want to be a didi? You have the long hair.
Radha.
Radhe Radhe. So my question is, for those of us who are born with a sickness from birth, I always wonder, why me? Why was I born with a sickness? But growing up over the years, I realized, I think, I had to be grateful for what the Lord has given me, so I can be humble and to be more loving towards God. But at the same time, I've always wondered, why me? It's really a struggle. The struggle's there.
Sure, Nikita, Nitika, sorry.
Nitika.
Nitika.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So, Nitika, we are born with, we come when we take birth. We are not being born for the first time. We are being born once again. We have taken birth many, many times, right? Countless times, you know that. And so we bring some sanskars with us. There's some people who are blind from birth. There's some people who are deaf right from birth. There's some people who have some illness, like you said. So that is because of our karma, our actions of the past. But at the same time, it's good that you are able to think that this is a grace from God, because it has taught you humility, it has taught you acceptance, but at the same time, sometimes you do wonder why. But God loves you unconditionally, but it could be, just look at it this way, it could be something so much bigger, and God just gave me something smaller. It could be so much bigger. There are people who don't have the use of their eyes. They are blind, they are deaf, they cannot speak, they're mute. So there's so many things going on. People without legs and arms, without legs and without arms, they have it so much, they're even worse than us, right? They're worse off than you, right? You have to admit. Yes. So always look at those who have it worse than you. And always know that God loves you unconditionally, but we are reaping the fruits of our actions. There are little babies who get sick, there are little children, you think, what did that child do, right? In this life, nothing. But we are not being born for the first time. We are born once again, we're taking birth once again. And just know that your illness is there to teach you some valuable lessons. And you have done very well. Despite your challenges, you are doing well. So thank God.
And my second question is, how do the people who I work with, some of them don't respect our culture and religion. How can I respect theirs if one of them didn't give me the same respect back? Like for my first day I worked at my new hospital at Johns Creek, our job is to focus on our work. And while I focus on my work, I listen to bhajan and kirtans because that really helps me, and I'm allowed to. So that really helps me to focus on my work while I have Radha Krishna bhajans in the background. So I found that to be a great coping mechanism.
Right.
But however, at the same time, this coworker I had in my team, she kind of pushed me to say, in Jesus' name, amen. Because, she's Haitian, but I'm the only one in my team who is Hindu. And I tried to explain that to them, but at the same time, I said, no, I try to keep religion out of the workplace. Just say, focus on our work. But the music, the bhajans and kirtans I listen to helps me to focus on my 12-hour shift. But how can we do that when we're the minority in the school or workplace or in this country, and some people are very close-minded, and they don't want to adapt to the changes in this multicultural world and country that we now live in.
Right, true. You take the high road. Just because someone else does not respect your religion, your culture, does not mean that you don't respect theirs. You should not allow others to change you in that way. Do not become worse than you are because of other people's attitude, other people's treatment. You remain who you are, and you are born in Hinduism, and you're from a good family. You have learned good values, and your religion teaches you to respect all religions. So never mind who else does, that others don't, some people don't respect your religion, but you respect theirs all the same.
And that's what I said. We had to be upfront, but I said no. When she says in Jesus' name, amen, I even said Radhe Radhe Jai Siya Ram, and she goes, what does that mean? It's the same thing as your God. All God is the same.
Yes.
And then it said God is great, no matter what name you call God.
Sure.
But the thing that's not so great is when somebody imposes their views on somebody else. I find that disrespectful.
And you tell them that nicely. Just say that.
But nicely, in a calm manner.
Sure, yes, in a calm manner. Don't let the words of others affect you so much. Don't give them that much importance. Don't give someone's words that much importance that they will devastate you and they will make you angry, or they'll make you feel hurt, or they'll make you cry. It's just their point of view. And just be grateful that you are open-minded, and the religion you follow, the religion you were born in, that's the religion of your choice. It teaches you to be very open-minded and accepting of other religions. And that's a wonderful thing. Be grateful. Not everyone has that, as you know, not everyone has that largeness of spirit. Not everyone has that broad-minded view. So be grateful for what you have.
Thank you. And one more question. When can I start singing the bhajan and kirtans for Seva?
Once Rich Auntie tells you you're ready. Once you start practicing.
Right, thank you. Radhe Radhe. And that's the other thing. I still have trouble saying Radhe Radhe. So I just had to be very patient. So.
Radhe Radhe.
And thank you all for being patient with me over the years.
Right here in the front.
How do you know this stuff?
Oh, how do I know this stuff? I have been, because I've learned it with Maharaji's grace, I have learned. And then he sits inside of me and tells me, he inspires me to know this. And years of experience also. When you do something for years and years, you get to learn it. But I'm still learning though. You don't stop learning. And so how do I know it? It's because I worked at it and Maharaji graced me, and I'm still learning.
Rather,
One more question, Didiji. You
Sure.
talk all the time about one of the signs of progress in devotion is tears.
Yes.
And if we're not getting, much of that, can you talk a little bit about, is that the quantity of time that needs to be spent, or is it the depth, understanding? How do you progress that, where you're getting more into that aspect to get that,
The tears.
the tears?
Yes. Again, it's a matter of understanding the importance and why should I shed tears? And as Kabir Das ji, for instance, one of the saints, has said, "Binu roye ki na paiya prem pyaro meet," that you cannot attain the divine beloved without shedding tears for him. And Sri Maharaj ji emphasizes the importance of tears because tears wash away the sins of our heart and they make the heart pure, they render the heart pure, and they make the heart eligible to receive the grace of God. So once we understand that, and then it's very important to sing the songs of separation, Virah Madhuri. Because those songs are so important, they are the greatest number of bhajans out of 1008 belong to Virah Madhuri. That's number one Madhuri, Virah Madhuri. So they help us to feel that separation, and they put tears. So one of the helpful things that I would tell you is to sing those songs or to hear them and then try to sing after them. The Virah and then Madhuri. They put us in the mood to cry, to shed tears of love and union, and rather not union but separation, which is more important. Tears of separation, tears of pleading. We're pleading with Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Tears of humility, tears of repentance even. But once we make up our mind that this is important, my Guru says this is important, and then also we must understand that, as Sri Maharaj Ji has explained many times, that the only reason we cannot cry is pride. So we have to check our pride. What am I proud of? Do I think that I know it all? Do I think that I am already God realized? So we have to ask ourselves, what kind of pride do I have? Why do I harbor pride that I cannot cry? Because Sri Maharaj Ji has said very emphatically, there's no other reason that tears don't come into the eyes. It is only due to pride. So we have to check our pride. And to help us along, there are so many compositions that we can use in daily sadhana.
And just real quick to add to that, so if on the worldly side, if we are not a very emotional person or have even, because I hear you say a lot in your lecture, like we cry buckets of tears, I think Ramakrishna says that.
Yes.
For the world, if you're not a very emotional person or even cry for the world, is it going to be even harder to do it devotionally, or they're not related at all?
It could be related, but even if you don't shed any tear for the world, it's important to shed tears. So it's just understanding that it is important. But does it help? Perhaps. For instance, now I think, if you're ruled more by the heart rather than the intellect, I think tears will come more easily. But easy or difficult, we have to make an effort to shed them.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Didiji. Was it Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji's devotee that had issues not shedding tears, and he's the one who puts the chili powder
Yes.
in his eyes? So how does that relate? Because we have to have feelings about God or Guru to even cry, like Vira or Milan. Just putting chili powder, like how
No,
does
that story is all about understanding the importance of tears. That he had understood the importance of shedding tears. So he went to this extent, because we don't have the courage to put chilies in our eyes. It burns. So because he had understood the importance, that was the point there. There was a satsangi who told me that, I found out that when he could not cry, he used to beat himself with a belt. I mean, this is a devotee who's living now, he's amongst us, and so he's beating himself with a belt. And I said, that's not easy. So understanding the importance of shedding tears for God. if there are no more questions, we will conclude this session. Any more questions? Yes.
Radha Didi.
Radhe.
Didi, there are so many distractions in the world. Like we have limited resources, power, so we get affected by what's happening around us, politics and which is the ruling party and all that sort of things. Like everything, many times we worry that what's going to happen. So those on spiritual path, what kind of attitude they should have to continue the progress rather than being affected so much that they are always scared of what's going to happen to me or my family or to the world, in other words.
Shri Radhe Hamari Sarkar, Fikir Mohi Kahe Ki. This understanding that I'm being protected by God and Gurudev, and they will do the best for me, and I'm living in Kali Yuga. There's lots of things, lots of atrocities taking place in the world, and this is the situation in the world. Lots of political unrest here and there, but but I am to have faith that God is here, and whatever happens will be for whatever God gives me is for my best. It's for my benefit, even if it's not what I think to be the best for me. But having faith in God and Guru that whatever happens will be for the best. And there are always going to be unrest in the world. There's going to be atrocities, so many worrying, so many issues that could worry the mind. But on the path of devotion, we train our mind not to worry and to do what we can. And what we'd have no control over, we'll just leave that in the hands of God. I'm just remembering there was a gentleman who asked Ramakrishna Paramhans. He said, your disciples are not doing any social work. Why? And he answered, there are hundreds of thousands, millions of people doing social work, but my disciples, I've told them to just do spiritual work because hardly anyone is doing that. So there's so many people taking care of social issues, social work, and so on, but spiritual work is being done. Spiritual work is what a saint teaches his disciples to do, and to focus on spirituality, focus on devotion, and when an issue comes up, if there's something we can do about it, then we should go ahead and take a step and do something about it. But something that's not in our hands, we should not worry, because again, Shri Radhe Hamari Sarkar, Fikir Mohi Kahe Ki.
Thank you.
This entire Kali Yuga is very worrisome. Things are happening, and but at the same time, here we are. There's a cocoon, and it's that devotional cocoon. We are part of it, and we must be grateful for that. That even in this Kali Yuga, in these times, that I have received such grace in the form of my Guru, in the form of these teachings, and I'm learning to do devotion. I'm practicing devotion under his guidance. And things will maybe falling apart in the world, but if I cannot help that, I should not worry about it. Once I saw Sri Maharaji, this image is coming to my mind, in Mussoorie. Everyone is packing furiously because Sri Maharaji announced that, in a few hours, 5 hours or 6 hours, we're going to be leaving Mussoorie. So everyone is packing and everyone is running around, doing this, doing that. Sri Maharaji was a picture of peace and just so quiet, just being in his naturality. So much is going on around him, so much chaos, but he's absolutely in his essence. He was who he always was. He wasn't affected by the chaos, and I just thought of that's how we should be. So much is going on around us, but what difference does it make? If I cannot fix it, I'll just leave it in the hands of God. And then Ramakrishna Paramhans also said, God who has created this world will also take care of it. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. God who has created this world will also take care of it. Who are we to take care of it?
Radhe Radhe Diji.
Radhe Radhe.
My question is like coming to satsang here for many years. It's sort of become a habit, and I guess sometimes I take it for granted. But so what is the intention that I need to like bring to satsang, like when I like to a Sunday satsang? What is the intention that I have to bring to make it fruitful for me and not incur any say sin?
Not to take it for granted. What you have received, yes, how can you not take it for granted? And you come with the intention that, come with a very sunny attitude, very exciting, come with a heart full of excitement that I get to be part of Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj's satsang. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for this opportunity. I'm alive today to be part of satsang, and I have a mind that God has given me that receives this satsang, that I can understand what is being said. I'm part of it. I can sing, I can use my voice, and I can think about, I can do Roop Dhyan. I have learned how to do Roop Dhyan. As you said, you've been in satsang since your infancy, since you were born. So it's a good question that how do you not take it for granted? But always have this fresh look at it. Not that I've been doing it for years and years, it's old. It's, wow, it's amazing. And you know how a child at the airport, the child is in the airport with her parents, and she looks at the big planes, and the look of excitement, wow, there's a plane. And I look at children like that and I say, that's the attitude we should have in devotion. Like, I get to be part of this satsang. I get to be part of my Guru's satsang. And I'm here to, and today I'm here to gather more devotional merit. I'm here to love God more. I'm here to love my Guru more. I'm here to do seva. So keep that in mind. Always keep it new, keep it fresh. Look at it with that eyes of a little child for whom everything is so new, even though you have been in satsang for so many years. But, you know, as Maharaj used to say, if you've attained God realization, you don't need to hear any lectures. You don't need to do anything. You've already there, but you have not. So we have not. So we need to be listening, and we need to be doing more.
Radhe Radhe Didiji. So my question is related to what we see sometimes in the world. Some people are very spiritual, always have practiced in this life. We can see always have practiced devotion, and also indulge in charity, lot of good work, doing good things for others. But sometimes their death is sudden. They get some diseases, and they suffer from the diseases, and that's how their life ends. And people question on how come, right? If he or she was doing so much of spiritual work, why the death came so badly to him or her? So a lot of people have recently asked me, and I know in my heart I understand, but I can't explain. If you can just explain with some examples, that'll be great. Thank you.
You know, there's great devotees of God who left their body because of the body being ravaged by disease, throat cancer in the case of Ramakrishna Paramhans, Adi Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, dysentery. I mean, you know, it doesn't sound like much, but it was some you know, cancer is in those days it was a big deal. But saints, if it's a divine one, then they choose their death, and they choose the moment of death, and they accept the will of God, and they don't feel any pain. They, not that we should think this way, but they don't feel any pain. And they choose their time of death. And so it seems like, oh, such tragedy. And we must think of it like that, because we should have that mamta, that love, that the pain should be there in the heart. But if someone asks, why was the need to do this? In the case of a divine one, it's always whatever is being done for the world, to teach us some lesson, to show the world that, to show us, like, when we go through a difficult time, then we think about what they have gone through, and we say, oh, I can gain courage from that, for whatever reason. But the only reason the divine ones leave, and the manner they choose, it's up to them.
One more question, Didiji.
Sure.
When at work, when I see patients with their child suffering from a major disease, say cancer or something, parents are breaking down in front of me and they said, why my child? Like, why is my kid suffering through this devastating, time? And I have no answer. Like, I don't know what to say. I can't say because of your karmas, right? That doesn't
you should
sound
not
at
say
all.
that. No.
Right, so what should be my right approach to
Hold their hand. Give them a shoulder to cry on. Give them, just don't have to say anything. I think that sometimes just a gesture is enough. When you are being empathetic towards them, you have tears in your eyes, that's enough. That's enough. Sometimes words are not needed, just an expression is enough. You're right, you don't say at that time, it's their karma, no, that's not what they need to hear at that time. I have never said that to anyone. All I do is to just offer my consolation. And what I'm telling you, that's what I do. Because they're breaking down at that point. They don't need anything else. They don't need that knowledge right now. Plus, they may not even believe what you believe in, and that's not going to serve them. It would be cruel to tell them anything like that. Just be with them in their grief. That's enough. Sometimes people say, well, I don't know what to say to this person. There was a death in the family, so I've stayed away. That's not good. You don't have to say anything. It's just sometimes just holding their hand, letting them cry, hugging them. That's all that is needed. That's all. The human connection is very powerful. Touch is very powerful. And just empathy goes a long way. We will conclude our session now. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai